I'm trying to win the Champions League from Liechtenstein. Except Liechtenstein does not have their own football league, and so the clubs play in the Swiss leagues. And because of that, we only have one European slot in the early qualifying rounds of the Conference League. Welcome to the third episode of the Vaduz Challenge. We're in charge of FC Vaduz from Liechtenstein, who play in the Swiss leagues. We're in the second division of Switzerland and we're stuck there. Anytime we have hopes of turning our form into a real promotion push, we get hit with a relegation-worthy form. And I'm tired of this. I want to change that. I want to finally get that precious promotion. The situation is so terrible that the board decided to make our club semi-professional after the second season. But this is also a blessing in disguise. The players, whose contracts were running out, now want to stay and make their wages much lower, or even go to a non-contract deal. This is brilliant news for us. This means more budget for potential transfers. Like a loan of Olivier Mamva at left back. He replaces Malik Sawatoko, who travels to Turkey. Or Sandro Vis, a striker who we loaned from Luzern. I also made a transfer I paid for. Sergio Rodelas is our new right winger from Pisa for 110,000 euros. The final replacement? Fredrik Carlsen went to Górnik Zabrze for 170,000, and I replaced him with a loan of Denis dos Santos from Servette. And now, let's begin the fourth season. Hopefully, the last one in the second division. Because, check this out, the board suddenly decided to make this club professional again. Let's go! It took you a whole year to realize where you went wrong! Okay, but now it's time for the Conference League, where our first opponents are Dynamo Brest from Belarus. And we conceded. At least it was a goal of the year. We equalized in the second half though, and could go to Gdynia in Poland, level on goals. And in Gdynia, we again had a draw, saved by Angelo Campos' solo run. This meant a penalty shootout, and as usual, we were the better side throughout an entire aggregate, only to lose it in the 6th round of the spot kicks. I just have to say it, we are far better in most of our games, but we just cannot score goals for some reason. I hope the league will not be identical. So let's start the season, which I hope will finally end with a long-awaited promotion. We're literally predicted to be in the promotion race, and half of our squad is in the Media Dream 11. It has to happen at some point. We start our fourth campaign in the second division against Etoile Carouge, and despite a huge advantage, it was a victory, but a hard-fought one. Partly because we let their striker go behind our defensive line and score. Goals from Gilles Richard and Sandro Vis saved this match and started this campaign with a victory. And now it's time for a quiz. Take a look at the stats from one of our matches. We're the ones in grey color here. What you can see is a huge advantage in possession, shots, corners, basically anything you can think of. And now, guess the result. Yes, we lost 3-0 to Winterthur. We are dominating our opponents in practically any game you can think of. It got to the point where I started using some radical defensive instructions, which are some of the best in Football Manager 26. I have to make it clear though, I did not download anything, but I cannot say I didn't have the temptation, especially when we get 8 points in 7 matches. Now I was getting ready to make an experiment, to see how many attempts it will take me to win over Neuchâtel Xamax. I wanted to duplicate the save, then go to my usual save and play a game there, save it so you don't accuse me of save scamming, go to the duplicate, and just keep simulating it until I win. And in how many of these games I'm going to have the advantage in? But FM26 of course ruined it. We won 3-0 for some reason. But then FM26 ruined our experience again, with a loss to Rapperswil. You guessed it, in a season in which we want to finally get that promotion, we're 7th, losing 10 points to Servette on top, and it's only 9 games in. At this point, can we even wake up, win the next couple of games, and keep the promotion hopes alive? I mean, what just happened here? We went on a run of 10 unbeaten games, 9 of which were in the league. Out of those 9 games, we won 7 and only drew 2, one of which was against the leader Servette. We also grabbed another win over Neuchâtel, but the highlight of the bunch is the demolition of Winterthur, against whom Sandro Vis scored a hat-trick. Somehow, coming into the winter break, we're second in the league, 2 points ahead of Neuchâtel. Although for now, winning the division is unlikely. Servette are also on an unbeaten run of 9 games. But remember, last season we also had this type of run coming into the winter break, and it ended in disaster. So we have to make sure this slump doesn't happen again. Usually, we only have 1 or 2 friendlies before the winter break ends. Now we've got 3, and 2 of them are against lower tier sides, so we can put our morale in order from the get-go. And I hope these results will help. I also made the decision not to make any transfers. I spent the money on contract extensions instead. And that's despite Górnik Zabrze being desperate to sign Stefan Ziller. But despite them bringing €500,000 to the table, I had to say no for now. And I hope we're finally prepared and ready to push for that promotion we desperately need. And guess what? We actually started the spring strong, with wins over Wil and Etoile Carouge. But now it's time for a crucial match against the leader Servette. This is the match that will bring us into the direct promotion fight, provided we win it. So obviously, we started by conceding a goal. We were then insanely lucky not to concede again. And then indeed conceded again, all within 10 minutes. Thankfully, still in the first half, Sergio Rodelas managed to score for us, before getting injured, that is. In the second half, I told our players to go all in. We were pushing, but we did not find an equalizer. Servette defended well and stopped our insane winning streak. But they did not stop our form. Because we then just kept winning. Etoile Carouge, Chaume, Bielbienne were all wins. But what about other teams thinking about that promotion? Arau, Angelo Campos scores a brace to turn this game around. Winterthur, a total domination as we scored 4 goals. Neuchâtel Xamax, Sandro Wil scores a double to give us a huge win. With just 9 games to go, something is finally happening. We're second, and although Servette has a game in hand, we're currently level on points. But we need to stay focused. The promotion is properly on the cards for the first time in this save, and we cannot let it slip again. We first played Rapperswil and comfortably won 2-0, but just 2 days later, we got some huge news. Neuchâtel Xamax won 4-2 over Servette, and it meant that even if Servette won their game in hand, we'll be level on points. We realized we're in the fight for the first place, but I still had to ensure our players are not letting their thoughts carry them away. Unless you're Luka Maronier, because despite the fact he played in all but 1 game this year, he's unhappy about his playing time. Or Florian Hoxha, who missed 2 games and also complained about his playing time, and also wants a transfer. Or our set-piece coach, who wants to retire after this season. Bro, you're 34 years old! Anyway, after the March international break, we won 3-2 over Wil. And got a complaint from Servette, because we allegedly played Delony dos Santos outside of his role, then put him in the correct role, got another complaint, and just a day later, they're suddenly happy. You just witnessed some football manager heritage. But the other thing to do with Servette is that they just lost 2-0 to Etoile Carouge, and we're in pole position in the promotion race. And we're 5 points ahead of Servette, who are also our very next opponents. He makes a turn, Campos cuts inside, makes a pass to San... Oh wow, what a miss. What a miss. To Campos. This. He found Rodelas, and this gets into space. And he scores. 3rd time is the charm. And we finally take the lead over Servette. Oh wow. It's actually happening. And what's even better is that next week we demolished rock bottom Chaume. And Servette only drew FC Wil. We're in a 10-point lead. And if we win against Arau and Servette drop points, we will finally be in the Swiss Super League. Campos gets the ball forward to this, who found plenty of space. He's on a 1v1 against the keeper. He wins the ball, gets to Schwiezer, who heads it to Campos. Campos gets a rebound. This is still going, and this time he has a solo run. Makes a 10. They pass to Campos. Marona gets the cross to this. Barry, they cross, and Taui with a consolation for Arau. Enjo with a cross. And Ferry wins the header. Gets the ball forward to this. Can we score the 4th? Campos! Oh, that could have been a 4th. Ferry still going. They cross to Barnier. And he wins a penalty. Oh no. Afri Barnier has a chance to make a huge equalizer for Arau and keep their promotion hopes alive. It's only in the hands of Ovidius Shaulis, who saves it! And we will win this match pretty much. Ovidius Shaulis, a hero, saves a penalty in the 93rd minute, and to keep the 10-point gap over Servette. I can't believe it. We may actually do it. We are a single match away from finally getting promoted. All we have to do is to win 1 more game. Against 9th place Bielbienne. They pass to Kouadju on the right. He delivers a cross, and Ziller, after a deflection, scores an opening goal. Breidenbach to Kouadju. Makes a pass to Ziller, and this time Ziller scores for proper. Campos. They ball to Ziller, who wins a penalty. Campos gets a goal. Ziller passes it to Schwiezer, and that's 4. He's about to deliver a cross here. Or passes back to Maurer. Wow, what a strike! Honestly, to deliver a cross The near post, Sumari wins the header, Kouadio gets to the rebound. That's the 5th goal. And after 4 seasons, after what felt like an eternity, we finally did it. It took way too long. It took 3 seasons of being considered promotion favorites, changing the tactical instructions, way too much struggle, and literally turning semi-professional at one point. But we finally did it. We're in the top flight of Switzerland. We overtook Servette to get there, and they got bitter about it, so they recalled Denis dos Santos from a loan to us. We also added a win in the Liechtenstein Cup, obviously, and in the league we received a guard of honor from Winterthur and defeated them 1-0. After this game, I decided to give an opportunity for our youngsters, and they also delivered. With a 1-0 win over Neuchâtel and a 5-1 demolition of Rapperswil. We ended the 4th season with 85 points in the bag, and with a top scorer award for Sandro Wyss, who ended this season with 23 goals. Partially thanks to the runner-up Elias Filej, leaving to Korona Kielce in Poland in the middle of the season. And we're finally in the top flight of Switzerland. But we're not in an ideal situation to just fight straight from the get-go. Many of our players are not ready for the challenge of the top flight, or are either approaching or in their 30s. This means, if we want to stay up safely, we have to overcome the obstacle of zero transfer budget and make a rebuild so that our stay in the Swiss top flight lasts longer than a single season.